I'm so used to being like another podcast episode, but I'm doing something different, okay? And today it's my first story time. So it is August 5th, 9:53 p.m. Had a long day. Didn't have time to record the YouTube video then, so we're doing it now, okay? And wait. Stop. Before we get into anything, I need you, if you have not, go subscribe to the YouTube. Just click the red button. Just go do that, okay? 2, like the video, and then if you really got something to say or some advice to give further with this video, comment, let me know how you enjoyed it, let me know more tips, and all of those things. So let's get straight into it. I'm in a different setting today, though. Y'all see me, I'm real chill. So I'm really chilling, and I'm in my basement today. I feel like every episode I'm always moving around, I'm going here, I'm showing you this event, that event. But I'm in my element today. I'm back at home, okay? I got on my God This Dope shirt, my pillow. I'm in my basement and just really recording my first story time. So I expect to do a lot more of these, just story times and giving advice just about certain things with networking with people in the industry and all of those things. So that's coming soon, but we gotta always start somewhere, right? And so this is my first story time. So today we are gonna be talking about how I secured my event with Athleta. So, oh my gosh. Y'all know I love Athleta. I'm super excited, and I gotta shout out so many people, but my last video, I don't even know when it's gonna come out, so I'm not gonna say my last, but one of my previous videos was my vlog with Athleta, and basically I got advice from the Chicago area marketing manager, and Tiffany hit me up like, hey, video was amazing, woo woo, blah 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 blah, but you should definitely do a story time and explain to people how you landed this event with Athleta, because I see a lot of people reaching out to me and they just don't know how to secure those relationships and really just figure out how to, introduce those conversations to move forward and hop on Zoom and show yourself and really just get yourself in the position that I was in, right? And so, yeah, I'm just going to really talk about how I landed the opportunity, give some advice specifically from the Athleta Chicago marketing manager, literally her notes that she sent me on her phone that she wants me to give tips to you all. So let's hop straight into it, okay? So let's do it. First thing, this all started because your girl is always thinking. Like, my brain be like, okay? It's always something new, and I was just like, okay, I'm always coming up with ideas, and I basically just had to figure out, like, what is the next goal for the podcast? And I was just harping, always thinking like, hey, I want a sponsorship for the podcast, right? So I'm like, first things first, I got to write down a list of companies that I think mission align with my podcast. That's the key, y'all. So if you have a podcast, or even if you're just pitching yourself to a company, right? Let's say you have a desire to pitch yourself to this company, or maybe you're in marketing and you're pitching an athlete, whatever the situation may be. The key thing, figure out when you present, right, especially to these big companies, they ain't got time to waste. Nobody got time. I don't even like people waste my time, right? So you don't want to waste anybody else's. And so the key is to figure out, when I come to them, right, and say, hey, can I reach out? Or hey, can I present this player? Hey, do you have an opportunity for me? What can you bring to them? Why is this relationship going to be mutually beneficial for both parties, right? And so when coming up with companies just to think of, I had to figure out what companies really align with the mission of my podcast, and when I'm coming to them, why does it make sense? On my list, I had Athleta, I had Spalding, Wilson Basketball. Who else did I have? I don't know. But it's okay. So I had Athleta. Athleta was like up there, and out of all the companies, Athleta really aligned with the mission of my podcast the most. I'm gonna keep it real 100 and smooth. I wasn't super familiar with Athleta. All I knew was Simone Biles was signed with them, Alice and Felix was signed with them, and their tagline, Power of She. And it just stood out to me so much, and I'm like, Power of She? Like, yes, this is your own, sir, Power of She. Let's do it, right? So I'm like, this goes perfectly together. Y'all ready for these tips? First things first, figure out the company, right? Okay, go to their Instagram, go to their website, do research on them. Like, figure out what their tagline is, figure out what the mission is, figure out if they have brand ambassadors or huge athletes or whatever the situation may be. Like, you got to do your research, because when you come to these people, they're going to ask, and they're going to be like, well, why should we work with you? And you got to figure out why should they work with you, right? So I was like, okay, Power of She, You're Wrong, Sir, that's going together. Simone Biles, Allison Felix. A company that is only for females that really empowers them. On top of that, we got a company who has acquired 2 of Nike's athletes, previous athletes, from them because Nike just wasn't intentional about showing support for women, and most importantly, just dialing in and honing in and making them feel like they were superstars. So I'm like, bro, this is perfect, okay? So next step, after you figure out the companies, then you have to find contacts. 2, first place to go, if you have not made a LinkedIn account, what are you waiting for? Go make your LinkedIn account, okay? LinkedIn is the key. Instagram and LinkedIn, maybe that's where the connections come from, okay? So LinkedIn is if you guys don't know, I hope you guys are familiar, but if you don't know, it's basically an application where a lot of business is done. Everybody who's in the corporate world, in some way, shape, or form is on there. They are trying to connect with other people. This is where recruiters are. If you're a college student and you want to get looks from other companies, all of those things, like they're there. Go to LinkedIn, make your account, get it updated, put your resume on there, all of those good things. After you go to LinkedIn, I'm like, all right. So I type in Athleta, right? Because it's the company name. Type in Athleta in the search bar. Then after you type in Athleta, it's gonna pop up just the company profile, like their LinkedIn profile. And then you're gonna do people, or it's like employees here, something like that. And then you're gonna go down the list, right? And it's just gonna show the marketing person, people of all positions who are on LinkedIn, who work at Athleta, they're gonna pop up. So I'm scrolling, right? Typically for me, no shame in my game, I like to connect with African American people because there's just automatic synergy. When you're trying to find people, right, you got to try to find a commonality. Like when we get on the phone, instead of coming straight to business, how can I break the ice with this person? Like, how can we connect? With Black people, for me personally, I'm African American, so it's 10 times easier. We got the same vernacular, we talk the same, we can relate, our jokes are the same culture. Like, it's just 10 times easier than someone who's not of my culture, right? So I'm like, preferably, I'm looking for a person who's African American, and on top of that, I'm looking for a person who works there, and just really find the components that help break down commonalities, and especially the person you're looking for. If you're trying to get in finance there at a certain place for internship, or you're trying to do that, you're probably looking for a recruiter, or you're probably looking for the CFO or a person in finance over this company, whatever. I was looking for more so of podcast sponsorships, That's going to be on the marketing side. So I got to look for somebody. I'm trying to preferably look for somebody who's my skin tone, look for somebody who does marketing, and then I'm trying to find a commonality between us so that when I get on call with this person, he or she, we can chop it up and I can make them laugh and have a good combo, right? So I'm looking it up, boom, boom, boom. An individual pops up by the name of Tiffany, and she was the GOAT, okay? And the rest has been history, honestly, and we have an amazing relationship. So Tiffany, if you're watching this, I appreciate you so much, bro. She has believed in me. She has provided me with these opportunities and continues to vouch for me just within the Athleta company, just boosting my confidence, man, always supporting me. So Tiffany, I appreciate you, okay? And shout out to her because y'all wouldn't be getting story time if it wasn't for Tiffany because she told me to do it. So Tiffany came up. Tiffany, African American, female, Chicago area marketing manager at Athleta. I live in Chicago, perfect. And then on top of that, she went to U of I. I go to U of I. I'm like, girl, you got it, okay? So I'm hyped. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I know, like, I'm going to get in good with this person. Like, I know it's going to be easier for me to probably get a response. She's not the CEO of the company. She's from my area. She went to my school. She's my color, and she's a woman. I mean, what more can you ask for, right? So I reach out. Now, right here, or I don't know, somewhere in this video, I'm just going to put it right here, because I'm just saying, I'm going to put it right here. But I am going to show you guys the message that I sent, right? So after you research the company, get that synergy. 2, find that person on LinkedIn. 3, and this can be more than one person too. You can find more than one person for the company because you never know who may respond to you and who won't, right? 3, now we got to figure out how we're going to reach out. A lot of the times on LinkedIn, A lot of the people who have premium accounts don't have open profiles, right? So you can't send them a long, full-blown message and whole elevator pitch about who you are, right? Has to be short and concise, because typically, like when you press connect on there, it's gonna say send a note. And I had to send Tiffany a note because she wasn't my connection yet, and I couldn't send a long message vouching for myself, right? So right here or somewhere in the video, I'm gonna show you guys the exact message that I sent her in her response. And literally this small message, I got the response. I found somebody with commonalities who was 10 times more likely to respond to me and who I would have a relationship with, and the rest has been history. So as you guys can see, I'm going to read it out loud. Her profile is here, so if you guys want to connect with her, if you want to learn from somebody who has experience in journalism and marketing, all of those things, Tiffany's an amazing resource and super willing to help. But the key is just to figure out how to reach out. What should you say? This is personally what I said. So as y'all can see, I said hi or hey. My name is Anaya Jones, and I'm the host of the You're Wrong Sir podcast. I love to connect and discuss a possible collaboration and or sponsorship with Athleta. I believe there's lots of synergy, and I'd love to discuss further. Please let me know if you're interested. Boom, that girl know how to talk to people, period. Okay. All right, I know y'all tired of me, but okay, be serious, man. Come on. All right, but so little simple things like that. I said, hey, I cut straight to the point. Hey, this is me. I'm texting you because I'm the host of a podcast. I think there's lots of synergy between Athleta and my podcast, and I'd love to talk to you and discuss further. If I send her a whole long paragraph, she probably won't have time to read that, right? You don't want to take up too much of people's time. You want to be concise, but you want to find your way in. Y'all, I sent this on May 10th. She replied on May 12th, and I was on campus. I remember this because school wasn't over. And I think I was on my way to, if you're a U of I student, you know I was on my way to Ike. I was going to get some food from I-57, barbecue chicken and some fries. Y'all know if y'all go to U of I. And I get a response on LinkedIn. It's like, boop, on my phone. I was like, y'all, it's the girl from Athleta. This girl responded to me. I was on a high. I'm like, yeah. And I'm the type of person, I'm going to just be real with you guys. I'm just extremely confident in my social abilities, right? And so I personally believe, like Anaya, me, when I get the response from a person and when I get the chance to get on a call with you, it's over with. We locked in. I'm getting a deal. Whatever the situation may be, I truly believe that because I just feel like I just have a lot to bring it to the table, and I think one of my strengths is just being able to connect with people from different backgrounds, making them feel comfortable, and things like that. So I'm like, girl, I got a response, I got the call, here we go. I'm like, yeah, and it's a huge company. I'm like, yeah. So Tiffany responded, as y'all can see, she said, hi Anaya, thanks for reaching out. I'd love to discuss. Can you provide your email and availability next week? I can set up time to chat, thanks. I'm like, shorty. I'm like, I did it, okay? And so I said, hi Tiffany, thanks for the steadfast response, sent my email, and literally sent my availability for every single day and said, I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, Anaya. Simple, right? Literally from that, I got on a call with Tiffany. We set up the Zoom. Y'all, I was super excited. I was super hyped. I'm like, yeah, okay? And so I did that, right? And basically, we got on the call. She wasn't too buttoned up, informal, real cool, still professional. And I was like, okay. And I came there, had my ring light on. I'm sitting up straight in a chair at my desk. And I'm like, all right, Naya, like, you better talk to somebody from Athleta. Like, you got to pitch yourself, right? And so literally, we had a good conversation. First, we intro. It was like, hey, girl, how you doing? Hey, girl, I'm good. How are you? Woo, woo. I'm like, I see you went to U of I, majored in journalism. She's like, yeah, how's campus now? Woo, woo. You still go to the I? Yeah, girl, I'll be there. Casual conversation. Commonalities can literally just, I believe, break the barrier for you guys. You know, like make you feel comfortable. So, moving forward, had the conversation. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for, mind you, I have never, ever had a conversation with a major company like this on behalf of myself or by myself, right? Either or. And so I was just going in, no experience, full faith in God, just trusting myself, like, girl, please. Like, I'm like, God, please allow something to come from this. Like, please, right? So I get on the phone with her, we're chopping it up, and I'm like, hey, you know, I think there's a lot of synergy, power of she, woo, woo. This is the mission of my podcast, blah, 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 blah. And here's the link. I've had this person on, I've had this person on. I'm talking. She's like, what's the most amount of downloads you had? What's this? What's that? What are your demographics? Who do you reach? Woo, woo, woo. Chopping it up. And I learned a lot from the conversation in general, right? One thing I learned was when you're coming, you know, to these conversations, right? Come with a presentation. Especially if you guys have a podcast. This is some advice Tiffany gave me on the call. Have a presentation. Let's say if you're pitching podcasts, let's say if you're doing what I was doing. Have a presentation. First slide, intro. Hey, this is me, this is my podcast. Woo, woo, woo. Second slide, what is the mission of your podcast? Why does this align with this company? Third podcast, what are you looking for? What are your deliverables? Do like 3 tiers of sponsorships. Okay, so the first tier could be like, hey, this is the top tier, gold tier, something like that. I'm going to wear Athleta gear in every single episode, and I just want a discount code, and I'm going to say it during my podcast, and whoever buys it, that's what happens, and I get free merch, or something like that. Whatever. If it was spalding for me, hey, I place y'all basketball in the background, and maybe I have a little segment on my podcast where I'm like, take the shot. I'm just making up stuff. Take the shot, and where it's like a trivia about somebody in basketball for my guests, or something like that. Like, just making up anything, right? But making sense. Like, how can it be mutually beneficial for these companies? Okay, cool. I didn't have nothing. I came with this, and I didn't come with anything else, okay? So that would have definitely been beneficial for me, but it was all a learning experience. It was all a learning experience. I got off the phone, I wrote notes, and I'm like, okay, you know, and she was like, yeah, girl, you know, we probably ain't gonna get, you know, sponsorship, but, you know, if anything comes up, I'll let you know, I'll keep you in the loop, whatever. And I'm like, dang. But I'm like, okay, like, okay, it's cool. I got a connection with Athleta. Like, you just have to think of it like that. You have a connection now. People, when you get on a phone call with people and you make an impression, I think they said it lasts in their mind for like 6 to 12 months or something like that, or a year, something like that. So I got on a call. I left an impression, right? So she's going to remember me longer than somebody who sent her a text message on LinkedIn. Whatever. Cool. So I'm like, all right, I need to make these tiers. And I remember before I hopped out the phone with Tiffany, she asked me, what would you rate yourself in your interviewing skills on a scale from 1 to 5? And I remember I said a 3. I said a 3. I was like a 3.5, a 4. Because I'm like, am I that good? And then I'm like, I know she gonna probably go listen. So I'm just gonna and then let her see what she thinks, right? And she sent me of course, I sent a follow-up email like, thank you for hopping on the call with me. I appreciate it. Look forward to building this relationship. She's like, of course, I'm going to check out the podcast, let you know what I think. Got an email, I think like a day or two, like, Tiffany be on it. And she was like, hey, checked out your podcast. And she said something about being an MJ fan because I was from Chicago. And then she said, and by the way, you're a 4.5 out of 5. And I was like, me, girl. He told me, and yeah, okay. I'm like, so I'm going downstairs like, Mom, she said I was a 4.5. I'm like, yeah, shorty. Like, what? Cool. She was like, we'll keep in touch. I'm like, all right, cool. Got another email. Hey, Anaya, I got an event coming up with an Olympian, Asia Evans, 2-time Olympic medalist, a bobsledder from Chicago. We're having the event at our Oak Street store at Athleta. Do you want to moderate? Do I want to what? I'm like, girl, is this a question? I'm walking through the house like, shorty, what? Do I want to moderate? Yes. Y'all, I got the text message. I was like, and oh my God, I wish I could show y'all my reactions when like I get good news. I'd be like, yeah, like yes. Like I'd be so hyped, so happy. Cause this is crazy, right? Like a company that works with Simone Biles and Allison, y'all wanna work, like y'all wanna have me host something, me talk? What? I'm like, yes, like, yes. So I'm hyped. I'm going downstairs. I'm going to tell my mama. I'm like, Ma, Athleta said. And she like, what's Athleta? You know, she don't be knowing. I'm like, Ma, they signed with this person and this person and da-da-da-da-da-da. Told Tiffany yes. Had to draft up some questions. Going back and forth to fix the questions. And ultimately, you guys seen the vlog. If you haven't, go check it out from the last event. But the Athleta event, which was absolutely amazing. However, the purpose of this vlog was to just talk about a story time of how we got connected. But I did ask Tiffany personally for some tips. So you guys are getting firsthand tips about reaching out to an individual on LinkedIn, whether that's for a sponsorship, whether that's for a big company, whatever. For all my college students, for all my people trying to look for jobs, for all my podcast hosts, anybody looking for opportunities. This is advice from the Chicago area marketing manager for Athleta, just basically giving her advice on how do you stand out. So many people are going to be reaching out to these people. So many people reach out to people at Nike. So many people reach out to people at Athleta, LeBron's company, the NBA, the NFL. Woo. What makes you different? What's going to make your message stand out, right? And so I got some personal advice. I'm going to put them up here, and they're probably going to be moving. I don't know where Danielle's going to edit it, but they're going to be up here. Screenshots of just her advice. So we'll go through the first steps. So number 1, do your research, okay? Know the brand's mission. Know the brand consumer. So Tiffany tells a story. She says, one time I had a small business owner for dog treats reach out to me. He was a man and had awesome intentions, but that doesn't ladder up to the overall mission of empowering women. Power of she, right? Mission of Athleta. She said, our brands aren't a good fit. It's very important that your initial communication with the brand shows that you did the due diligence of research. Do your research. I did my research. You know, like I told you guys, I did it initially because you have to reach out to companies that have synergy. How will this be mutually beneficial for you? Whether if you're going into an interview, let's say I'm walking into an interview with Nike, I better know, and I'm going for a marketing internship, I better know my favorite campaign that they've done. I better know why. I better know what it generated. I better know how it affected people. You got to do your due diligence, because everybody's going to want to work for these companies. Everybody's going to want to be in your position, right? But you have to figure out what's your differentiator. What sets you apart from every single other person? It starts by the way you're reaching out, and the first thing is to do your research. So that's really all I got on that. Number 2, be transparent. She said, in your email, tell the brand why you're reaching out. What do you need? Like I said, don't waste these people's time. Get straight to the point, short, sweet, respectful, but let them know, because you gotta get that, you gotta grab their attention, right? So she says, there's nothing wrong with listing why you think you'll be great partners or why you're the right person for the opportunity. That's huge, because I think sometimes, I don't know about y'all, but as me, sometimes as an individual, you don't want to hype yourself up too much, like, hey, I did this, I did that, and you be like, I'm gonna just be cool. But no, they gotta know that. They have to know that, because, it's a lot of people who did this and did that. What makes you stand out, right? So she said, never send an email saying, hi, I just wanted to connect. Never. Don't do that, okay? And then when y'all send out these amazing emails, I just want y'all to say thank you to me. I'm just playing. Okay. She said, this business is all about relationships, and you reached out to the brand for a reason. Develop that relationship by being transparent up front. Me, I said literally in my thing, hey, I'm the host of the podcast. I think it'd be great for a sponsorship. I think there's synergy. Let's connect. Simple, straight to the point. Did my research, because I understand that there's synergy. I was transparent. I told her straight up front who I am and what I want in 3 sentences, right? Step 3, include your personal brand. If you are someone, this is directly from Tiffany, y'all, okay? This is not me, this is Tiffany. All right, she said include your personal brand. If you are someone with a blog, podcast, website, include it. The brand wants to know that you have the ability to market and advocate for yourself. So show them your work. Give yourself the opportunity to lead the first impression with something that you created. Y'all know I always go back. Taylor Rooks' biggest advice that she gave to a friend of mine, Imani Davis. Shout out Imani if you're watching this. I appreciate you. And it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, boo. But it's August 5th, y'all. So I'm not saying when this come out. I'm just saying. Okay. But Taylor Rooks' biggest advice was always have your own material, right? For me even, I want to do marketing, etc. I don't feel like you should be asking to do marketing for anybody else if you don't even know how to market your own self, right? So you have to know, this is my material. Like, you have to come up front, pitch yourself, like, show these people, like, I can do it, you know? I sent Tiffany my podcast Instagram. I sent Tiffany my Instagram. We followed each other. I'm always posting content. I'm always posting YouTube videos, reels, all of these things. I have a YouTube. I had a podcast website where she can listen to more than 40 episodes that I put out. There's so much material from her to pick from just to see, like, hey, is this girl credible? Can she do what she says she can do? You know, all of those things. So, yeah, give yourself the best first impression. Give them all of your best work, and you allow them to basically get an idea from that. If nothing comes from it, then it wasn't meant to be, and if it does, hey, you did the best that you could, like you did it, right? Bonus points. Know your connections. Is the person you're reaching out to alumni? Are they in any of the organizations you participated in? Have they worked at any jobs that you have previously? If you can connect with them on some level, they're more likely to respond. Exactly. I told y'all the U of I connection. Shout out to all my Illini people, ILL. I'm just fake like y'all saying I and I to me right now. But that was the connection. Chicago, I'm from there. Girl, we can relate. She's from the south side, I'm from the west side. Simple. African American, a woman, and she went to U of I. I mean, hey. So, the next one. The last one, actually, show your strategy. If you think there is something that you can specifically help with, include the strategy. Tiffany says, for example, if you go on the brand's website and notice it's not user-friendly, how can you improve that? Do you think there's an opportunity for the brand to increase social engagement and they haven't tapped into it? Include your strategy. If you have a skill set that can be easily translated to a brand initiative, including it could really show your understanding of the business. So, just bonus points, know your connection, and then show your strategy. Like, especially if you're reaching out for a job. Sometimes, you know, you can be like, hey, this relationship is mutually beneficial, and your resume can show what you've done. But if you come to an interview or you come to people like, hey, this is what I noticed, and this is what I think you guys could have tweaked and did better. Or to build upon this movement, or right now, woo, woo, woo. You know, all of those examples, you know. And so I'll just give a piece of knowledge. I'm a marketing major, right? My advice for Athleta, you know, to build more so on their growth, right? For me, Reels is the next wave. A lot of the content that Athleta has now on their Instagram is pictures. And Instagram recently came out saying that they don't like to identify themselves as a photo sharing app anymore. Meaning that video content is key. Reels, IGTV, all of those things. My advice to Athleta would be, do more Reels. Maybe do Reels of people changing their different outfits or styling Alice and Felix collection in a different way. Y'all didn't hear from me though. But that's some advice that I would give, right? If they're trying to improve on their social presence. Or if you don't want to do that on a big platform, you can even do that if you give the Athleta Chicago, the store, on Instagram. Hey, maybe even have a reel where you're introducing the workers or introducing the stylists, Shellis and Marissa and all of those people that work there, general manager, Tyler, Tiffany, all of these people. Maybe like you know have the Full House background, how they have that theme song, and they're like introducing the people like starring, and maybe you could be having different employees hop in there. Now it's more personable. Now people are coming for the product, but they also see who. When I come to the Oak Street store, who am I coming to see? So little small things like that I think you have to be cognizant of. But I'll go through the steps again. Number 1, do your research. 2, be transparent. 3, include your own personal brand. 4, know your connections, know who you're talking to, try to find some commonalities. And 5, show your strategy. How can you help them? How can you give tips and show them that you know what you're talking about and you differentiate yourself? I don't know how long this video has been. I hope it has not been too long. I didn't want to take up too much of everybody's time, but I just really wanted to give some small tips. I've been posting a lot of content with Athleta, the YouTube video, the snippets, all of these things, and a lot of people are like, how did you secure something with Athleta? And I just like to help people, because this is beyond me, that I'm working with them. This is beyond me. Like, I'm just like, what? I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed, and I'm so appreciative for Tiffany, Shelly, Marissa, Tyler, anybody who works at Athleta who played a part in helping me get there, and for those who I will meet hopefully coming soon, and hopefully building that relationship further with them, man. I'm looking forward to it. Stay tuned. I might be doing another event with them, okay, y'all? I didn't tell y'all. I didn't say anything. Y'all didn't hear that from me, okay? Y'all didn't hear that from me. But I hope this is super beneficial for you guys. Gave y'all 5 tips and talked about a little story time. So I will catch y'all on the next one. I don't know what the next story time would be. Comment below what you guys would like to hear. If you have not subscribed, like I said, like, comment below, and I will catch y'all on the next episode.